Money keep coming in, I can't choose. Foreign card off the chain, I can't prove. Got different color on my diamonds, I can't even see the time.
Hey, what's up guys? Before I start this video, I want to tell you guys about a new company that will change the way you play this game. Uncanny GG is a brand new website that will watch your gameplay and tell you exactly what you have to do to get better. They will tell you how to improve your aim, how to build faster, and where you are compared to the pros. There's nothing out there like this that will give you a private Fortnite coach that will not only tell you how good you are, but what you need to do to actually improve what you're bad at. Now, Uncanny just launched, so their service is completely free, but in the near future it will not. So I suggest that all of you go to my link right now in the description and go and sign up and start getting better today. Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about why the pros and some of the best controller players in the world have started using slower build sensitivities. Now, me personally, I have always used the fastest build sensitivity possible. I've always used a 2.0 build and edit sensitivity, but recently I've noticed that a lot of some of the best controller builders and creative warriors have started using slow sensitivities, and it's actually made their gameplay a lot better. They look smoother, they build more accurately, and they're incredibly good at creative and dominating players with slow sensitivities. So why are they slowing down when they should be playing as fast as they can? Well, I asked some of the best controller players, creative warriors, and wager winners why they've decided to slow down their build sensitivity, and this is what they said. So the gameplay you're watching right now is Wednesday Wagers gameplay between Aggro Youngstar, which is a controller player who plays on 6.6 sensitivity and a slow build sensitivity, against Epic Whale, one of the World Cup qualifiers who placed top 10 in World Cup solos. Now, Youngstar obviously plays on controller and is at a slight disadvantage considering that Epic Whale is on keyboard and mouse, but at the same time, Youngstar isn't playing at a super high sensitivity. So how is it that he's able to pull off wins and actually outbuild and outplay Epic Whale in these 1v1s? Now, I asked some people in Aggro, including Youngstar, and what they said was that playing on a slower build sensitivity gives them the ability to play smooth and also stay more calm and collected with their aim. As I've said many times before, aiming is one of the most important aspects of Fortnite. Without good aim, there's no point in being good at building or just playing the game competitively in general. You have to have good aim, and what they capitalize on by playing with slow build sensitivities is their aim. Because when you're playing on a slow build sensitivity, you have that ability to stay consistent with how fast you turn, and when you come out of your build mode, you're not snapping into a different sensitivity as harshly as you would if you're playing on 2.0. What you're basically doing is playing at a sensitivity that is close to your aiming, and it will make your aiming more consistent because you'll be practicing more with a slower sensitivity, and you'll also be exiting that build sensitivity at a slower change in pace, which will make it easier for you to stay and keep your aim on your opponent. Now, to give you guys a good example of what I'm saying, I'm going to go into my settings and switch my build sensitivity down and show you what I mean by this. So watch as I switch my build sensitivity and I bring it down to 1.6 instead of 2.0. You guys can see that I can do pretty much every build that I would do before just as fine, just as fast on 1.6. Now, to basically show why high build sensitivity isn't as good as a slow one, I'm going to shoot this robot while building on 2.0 build sensitivity. If you guys pay close attention, you'll see that my aiming is very snappy and it's not really that smooth, and I have to flick a lot of my shots to actually hit them. Now, although flicking is fine, it's not as good as playing on slow sensitivity that will give you that smooth aiming that you can track with. So as you watch me build and shoot at this robot, you can see that my aim is pretty consistently towards or near the general area of where the robot is going to be before I start peeking. And that's a big part of playing with slow build sensitivity, is that you guys won't have to always flick your shots to get them to where they need to be because of how fast you're turning while you're building. Now, the biggest problem most of you guys probably have with playing on slow build sensitivity is the fact that you can't really flick your building aim as much as you can with a slower one. And you might think that that's going to hinder you from being able to do some things like double ramp floor walling, but believe it or not, it's actually super easy to do it on a slow build sensitivity, and it's actually better, because think about how you do it when you're doing it on fast one. You're shaking your aim going left and right super fast, but when you do it with a slow build sensitivity, you learn how to keep it right in that center point, which will limit the movement that you need to do in order to do what you want to do. So basically, you're not going to have to spin your aim all over the place just to get those two platforms out. You're going to learn to keep it right in the center and do it with small movements, and the least amount of movement that you do to do some kind of big move is going to be the best thing that you can do, because not only will it be faster, but it will also be smoother and will give you guys the ability to really target your aim and have it lined up before you actually fight people. Now, I switched my build sensitivity down to 1.2 to really show you guys what I mean by this, because you really don't have to flick at all. Just by practicing a little bit, you will get used to getting that right in the center, and as you guys can see, for me it's a little hard because I haven't got used to it yet, but as soon as I start to do it a couple times, you see that I instantly get used to it and I can do it pretty much consistently without really messing up. Now, another thing with fast build sensitivities is that it's mainly muscle memory. All it comes down to is how much you practice and how good you get with playing on that fast sensitivity. And that can sometimes be a problem, because what if you take a big break from Fortnite and then you come back to it trying to play good and you start messing up and you just completely can't do what you used to be able to do. With slow sensitivities, that's less of a problem because of how much they revolve around you just being a smart player and playing efficiently. But with fast ones, obviously it's going to be harder to stay consistent with it. So overall, I think slow build sensitivities are going to become dominant in the near future. Now, going back to Aggro Youngstar, we can see that one of these slow controller build sensitivity players is dominating a PC player that can play on as high of a sensitivity as he wants when he's building and as low of a sensitivity as he wants when he's aiming because of his mouse. So how is Aggro Youngstar once again able to beat him consistently in these build fights? It has a lot to do with him just being a smart player and knowing how to use his aim to his advantage. He doesn't always have to crank insanely cool phase sway builds to beat players, and he can be good at many different things just by playing on slow sensitivity. Looking at someone like phase sway, he's an insane builder, but a lot of times when you look at him in terms of competitive, he isn't always the best. He isn't competing at the top of the top unless he's playing with good teammates that usually do a lot of the heavy competitive play for him, and he just uses his mechanics to his advantage. But looking at someone like Aggro Youngstar, where he's forced to play smart and play effective with his aim and his slow building, we see him do some pretty smart and nerdy things that will put him ahead of players that don't. And those that rely on heavy mechanics will ultimately go down to those players that play smart and slow, because the ones that play smart and slow really think about what's happening throughout their games. In Fortnite, where there's so many different variables, so many different ways to play, and so many things that change every single season, being smart will always outweigh being fast and skillful in mechanics. This is because a smart player will consider everything, every single variable, everything that they could do to win a fight, instead of just cranking 90s and trying to get shots and angles. And players like Youngstar and players that play on slow sensitivities are pretty much forced to have to do this because they won't have that ability to crank 90s to make up for mistakes that they make. So they basically get good at not making mistakes and being perfect at what they do, and also improving with as fast as they could be with the sensitivities that they play on. So overall, I think the slow building sensitivity is becoming a meta that many players are adapting to, and it's becoming something that we're definitely going to see more in the near future. So I hope this video gave you guys an idea of what this is and what people are doing with it. And what I hope that you guys will get from this video is that there is a big change that is going to be coming to controller Fortnite soon. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you should instantly switch to a slow sensitivity. I'm basically just informing you guys about this change that's upcoming soon. So I want you guys to pay attention to pro controller players that are going to be playing, and basically pay attention to how they play, their play style, and what sensitivities they're using, as you guys have already been doing, but just put more focus on the slow aspect. Now, in the near future, I'll probably be making another sensitivity video that is going to be a slow sensitivity, and I hope that you guys will get a good sensitivity that isn't too slow, but also at the perfect slow sense for building. Now, once again, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a slow sensitivity from now on, but I will definitely consider it and keep a close eye on these pro players and see if what they're doing is actually of benefit compared to players that will be playing on fast sensitivities and very quick mechanics. So really appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you guys watched it to this point, go down in the comment section and comment STAR, S-A-T-A-R, just to let me know if you guys actually watched this video all the way until the end, and it'll just let me know that you guys are actually using the content that I'm putting these videos to the full capacity that I hope that you guys are using them. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys will got an understanding of what is happening right now in the Fortnite competitive scene, and I hope that this video did a good job of explaining that to you guys with full detail and without missing anything that you guys are wondering. So once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Try to build.